If there's one thing we've learned over the years, is that businesses will do anything to cover up their wrongdoings. But time and time again, one group is taking them down.
The Scooby gang was traveling in their mystery machine between mysteries, like they usually are, when the band ended up breaking down right next to a dingy entertainment restaurant of some sort. Can Mr. Inc. survive the 5 Nights at Freddy's?
What do you get when you put a stoner, a lesbian, a himbo, a ginger, and a talking dog in a haunted house?
One of the most successful animators of all time. How the gang met up is subject to mystery of its own, especially if you ignore that most recent show. But they probably were just some guys that met as kids and decided to start mysteries, which they've been doing for over 50 years now. Their friends must be very chill about all that.
Red Jones is the leader of the bunch. You know him well. While he may not necessarily have brains or brawn, though granted none of the gang really has the latter, his traps and plans almost always work despite the fact they should make no sense. Like, what was the plan here?
His sometimes, but not always, girlfriend, Daphne Blake, has previously spent a lot of time just being the pretty one that gets kidnapped, but she's since become far more capable thanks to the world getting less sexist and is trained in multiple martial arts to the point of easily taking out villains herself.
Velma Dinkley is the only one who ever puts in any actual work. She's extremely intelligent and is able to solve entire plots from the tiniest details, including font choice and flying guesses. Her main downsides include a lack of physical ability, not being able to see without her glasses, and a terrible spin-off show.
Shaggy Rogers is the strongest member of the group, having access to Ultra Instinct and being able to use only 1% of his power too.
Yeah, no, that isn't canon. We'll get to that another day.
Well, he is the coward of the group, possibly due to being on multiple illicit substances, but he's very adept at running away from monsters to act as bait, and if he's confident, he can throw down with the best of them.
And lastly, we got Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Scoobert's the mascot of the team, normally hanging around with Shaggy, and speaking in that ridiculous accent. As a Great Dane, he can run up to 30 miles per hour, fight at 238 psi, and will do anything for a Scooby snack.
He's also the earthly manifestation of an eldritch deity, but that's not as important to the discussion at hand.
He what?
Together, the Scooby Gang has been on many adventures.
From a guy in a mask to a bear on fire at WrestleMania, the Scooby Gang is taking down an absurd rogues gallery that only ramps up as time went on. And in every one of those cases, Mystery Inc. successfully saved the town and solved the mystery. As it stands, there's no mystery the Scooby Gang can't solve. So let's make him solve FNAF lore. Hello Internet, welcome to Fiction Fights. Today we're going to be measuring Freddy's...
Don't give him ideas, he's clearly running out of them by now. In any case, the story of Fazbear Entertainment is, in a word, complicated. In 2 words, it's very complicated. In 3 words, it's very, very complicated. In 4 words...
Spock notes is that this guy named William Afton got a little quirky one night and killed 5 kids, stuffing them to the animatronics. Said animatronics get possessed. William decides to break in and study them, but the kids escape and scare William. William gets his ball spring locked and he's locked up.
They're just knuckling Nicolas Cage and decide to take him the job. Kick all their asses. There are 4 animatronics in the main band, that being the main guy, Fazbear, the guitarist and canonically scariest, Bonnie the Buddy, the girl that gets plenty of questionable fan art because she's a girl, Chica the Chicken, and the very ratty looking Foxy the Fox, who would probably instantly give kids nightmares.
Each animatronic is based on the same endoskeleton model, all being roughly 6 feet tall. The animatronics are able to freely move around the building, which is way more advanced than I thought the 80s were, and their bites are strong enough to crush a human skull. It's a miracle the human body can live without the frontal lobe.
Well, technically...
There's also the mysterious Golden Freddy, who is somewhere in the restaurant. Golden Freddy is a spring lock suit, which is an animatronic that doubles as a wearable suit and a robot. Why anyone would wear that, I have no idea. Golden Freddy is in suit mode, but that only allows for Golden Freddy to show off the more paranormal elements of the animatronics, teleporting around and causing hallucinations for anyone who views them.
He can also crash the game, meaning we're dealing with a universal level entity here.
Am I gonna have to kick you off the show? Fazbear Entertainment themselves do know these guys are haunted, but have successfully covered each incident up to the point that in the 2030s, the business is thriving despite at least half a dozen children being murdered at their establishments.
The animatronics are all connected to a central server that is meant to have them run smoothly and play cheesy songs that will haunt the dreams of any employees. However, this system is also controlled by someone who had far more nefarious uses for it, that being the man slightly to the back of the murderers, William Afton.
As mentioned previously, William got his Faz coins crushed in a spring lock suit and got sealed in a room. Despite this, William survived and was reborn into the Twisted Springtrap. Springtrap is able to create literal phantoms of the past and survive 3 separate buildings collapsing on him. Well, technically 2, but security breach is another can of worms I don't want to deal with.
And as one of the founders of the original company, Afton has utilized the animatronics to pull off all sorts of horrible crimes, whether that be the various child murders, the various traumatic events involving other kids seeing animatronics malfunction, or the infamous fight of '87.
As it stands, Afton is brilliant, able to make killer robots turn alive and repair himself into a much worse design when some place collapsed on himself. Nothing will stop him. After all, he always comes back.
Okay, gang, the fan got a flat, so we're gonna have to stay here. Jeez, this place looks like a dump.
Like, what are those things?
Calm down, Shaggy. They're just creepy robot animals, that's all.
Fred, if I get one step closer to those things, I'm gonna have a Scooby stroke.
Well, Shaggy, the animatronics are bolted to the ground, so you'll be completely fine where you are.
Well, I'm glad that they're stuck out there, and that we're in here. But what I want to know is, where's the rabbit?
Yo, what's up?
Zoinks!
Jinkies!
What the fuck?
Like, what did I tell you?
Don't worry, I got a plan.
Oh no, you're not roping me into scoobing this time. I'm pretty sure there was a dead guy stuffed in that suit in the back room.
Would you do it for a Scooby snack?
You son of a bitch.
Well, gang, we stopped the monsters. Let's see who's under the mask. Oh my god, there's a dead child in here.
Who in their right mind would do such a thing?
Afton!
I run around.
I always come back!
Are we doing this?
Afton! I always come back!
Good thing I always carry this with me. Like
Afton!
bombs away,
I
man.
always come back!
Remember, this one's not just going to be about the fighting. In any case, we do believe the Mr. Gang would definitely have what it takes to survive an afternoon with Mr. Fazbear. There really wasn't going to be anything new to the gang here. Hell, even discounting supernatural stuff, the idea of taking on animatronics is itself something that's old hat for them. And while the animatronics could certainly kill normal humans just fine, they'd have a lot harder luck, I imagine, to take guys with cartoon logic on their side.
Now, whether the gang could solve the case, that isn't really a question. If randos on the internet can deduce that, yeah, these kids were shoved in animatronics based on random newspaper clippings and creepy flashing text, there's no way these experienced private investigators couldn't solve this gang theory.
Afton himself didn't really have a good way to try and actively hinder the gang's progress without exposing himself in the process. Hell, the fact he was arrested for the crime in the first place indicates he wasn't exactly the best at hiding his shadier stuff.
This fiction fight belongs to Scooby-Dooby-Doo. I'm gonna wash my mouth out with soap after that.